One. Hello and welcome to CadoinkStudios. I am here today doing a co-cast with Boisterous. Say hello, Boisterous.
Hey, hello, Boisterous.
Today we do not have a pro game. Instead we have a game that was sent to me by one of my friends, actually sent to CadoinkReplays@gmail.com. And so, spawning on the bottom left corner of Korhol compound, we have my friend Jack, the Blue Terran hero, who we are going to be rooting for today, and his opponent is himanoob, the red Zerg player. So, Boisterous, Korhol compound has been in the ladder rotation for one season. It is continuing on to the next one. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's an awesome map. I think it really shows kind of how Blizzard's, understanding that I think they figured out that they're not the best map makers. Because this map was pulled from somewhere else, wasn't it? I think it was the GSL, maybe?
I think it might have been the ESV, tournament. There was, a map-making competition.
Wasn't that for the... I don't know where that's from, actually.
Yeah,
this is not by Blizzard, though. It's by ESV.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Right.
And I know Cloud Kingdom is the same. Cloud Kingdom was definitely one of the winners for the competition. And yeah, Blizzard decided to throw it in, and now they're getting us to vote on maps, which I think is very interesting. Because from the beginning, I've been saying, listen to your community, Blizzard. Community is where StarCraft 2 is not really in the gameplay. The gameplay is good. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But what makes StarCraft 2 so strong is that we just have a great community of people. And so now that they're listening to, hey, what maps do you guys want? What maps do you not want? It's going to be a lot better of a game, and I'm excited for patch 1.5, where they're talking all about community stuff and changing interface and messing with chat channels and this sort of thing. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, it's most definitely going to be awesome. We have both players going for fairly standard builds, except for the fact that Jack is not at all walling off, which is interesting against Zerg.
Yeah, this is actually the product of me, I'll have to admit. There was a period in my laddering career where I walled off 100% of the time, and then for whatever reasons, I think there was a short period of time where Terran stopped walling off, 5 seasons ago, and or 3 seasons ago, I don't know. And so I stopped for some reason, and Jack kind of picked up that I was doing that, and I kind of do what he's doing now. He's kind of making a wall at his main, and so if a 6-pool does come, he can sweep a Zergling back behind the supply depot in this barracks, and then pull some Marines, or some SCVs to kind of defend and attack, and I've managed to hold off 6-pools like that in the past. It's kind of helped me improve my micro as well. The only really big risks is later on if there are any huge Zergling rushes, and you can opt to wall off later. And so right now we see Jack is going for the reactor and another barracks and then a factory, so he's going to be going for kind of a marine tank play, while his opponent has not taken an expansion, and this is in the Silver League, so Zergs most commonly are taking very early expansions, but it looks like himanoob is going for more of a roach rush sort of play.
Yeah, this kind of surprises me, because at least when I was playing in the Silver League, a couple seasons ago, I basically just did the Ice Fisher build every game. Which, the Ice Fisher build is, of course, get a second natural at 14, or get your natural at 14, drone to 40, and then get gas. It was the most suicidal build ever, but if you did that and then rushed for Mutalisks, you were fine. You won the game. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and that did come out of Spanishiwa. I think he created that build, and I'm very excited to see where Spanishiwa is going, because I think he's kind of stopped playing tournaments for a little bit, because he's really focusing on working on his mechanics and his strategy and his replay analysis. I was watching his stream and he was talking about these sort of things, and so he's not even laddering. He's more of just playing custom games and working on trying to make his macro and his mechanics really, really solid and really, really tight. So I'm excited to see Spanishiwa and him use the Ice Fisher build, or whatever new builds he comes up with his newly found mechanics.
Yeah, what's kind of interesting about a build like the Ice Fisher is how DRG pulls it off, because he goes 3 bases without gas. That guy is ridiculous when it comes to playing as Zerg. I was watching him play an MLG, and it was I couldn't even imagine doing that without dying.
Oh yeah, he would max out by the 15-minute mark. And right now we do have Jack going in with some Marines and Marauders, but there are a lot of Roaches on the field for himanoob, and with only one Marauder, I don't think Jack's going to be able to pick this off. So he's going to run in the base, maybe kind of suicide his units just to see if he can get a little info. But this attack isn't going to do anything at all.
Yeah, I think seeing the Roaches was enough info, really. I think he should have just run away with his units after that. He might have gotten out with 1 or 2, which definitely would have been better. And we have Jack going for a triple supply depot down at the front when he's already 7 food ahead of supply, or when he's already 7 supply ahead of how much food he's actually using. So he's going to be really, really in the white after this. It's going to take quite a bit to get him supply locked after this.
Yeah, he is, however, worried about that huge Roach Zergling force. The Zerglings can just run up really quickly and start hitting the mineral line, and so he'll have to pull his Marines and Marauders back, and then the Roaches can get up after that. So I like this by Jack. He's kind of in a little bit of a panic mode, but I think this is a good move because if he doesn't do this, the Zerg player can just walk right in and kill him outright. And now he has that siege tank up. He'll start being able to do damage to the Roaches, doing a scan for whatever reasons, but he should be able to pick this off.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he'll be fine. That's just kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
The supply depots got really low. That siege tank was dealing so much damage to them.
Yeah, and one Roach looked like he might be able to get away. Jack really needs to come in and fix his supply depots as one of them is about to burn down, and he does get the SUV there in time. Now himanoob is pulling back and taking an expansion. I think this is a good move by him. If you can't do damage, you should, stop what you're doing, try to get an expansion, try to defend up, macro up, and push again. So this is good. However, he did kind of waste a lot of units there. If we look in the units lost tab, he is double the resources lost, so not really in his favor. And at the same time, Jack is going for an expansion, I believe.
Yeah, Jack definitely looks like he's going to be going for an expansion. It actually looks like he's going to drop the command center on the low ground, so we're going for the slightly less safe positioning on that command center. But at the same time, you get an extra 10-15 seconds out of mining time out of that because your command center doesn't need to lift up and float over.
Yeah, he will need that advantage, seeing as himanoob's expansion is going to be out a lot sooner than his. But considering the amount of damage he did earlier, himanoob can't really attack Jack at this time, especially not with a siege tank there and then that nice little Marine Marauder force. So I think it's safe for him to put the command center on the low ground. However, it can be a risk at times.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Baneling Nest on the way for himanoob right now. This is what he should have had earlier. It would have made that bust a lot easier. He would have been able to take down those supply depots and get into Jack's base. So we'll see how that works out for him. And he also has his lair up, and he's getting the the spire, as well.
Yeah, and this spire is going to... I don't know how much damage this spire is going to do. Spires are usually always a toss-up against Terran because it's really about how well the Terran can micro against them. If you can get Marines to the correct positions at the correct timing, then you're fine. However, Jack doesn't have a large amount of Marines at this point. And at the same time, the Zerg doesn't have a lot of gas. So this is going to be kind of odd because I don't think the Zerg player is going to be able to get that many Mutalisks out. Because he'll probably have 300 gas when the Spire wraps up because he only has 1 extractor. So I feel like this Spire might actually be a bit of a misplay. Just a really not that great of an idea because he's not going to be able to support anything out of the Spire currently.
Yeah, certainly. If he had all the gas geysers, this would be a great move because, like you said, Jack doesn't have a lot of Marines. He only has 2 barracks, and only one of them has a reactor. And he's also putting down a second factory and getting Hellions. Which, regardless, even if he was getting siege tanks, they wouldn't be able to shoot the Mutalisks. So yeah, this would do a lot of damage, and Jack doesn't even have his engineering bay up, so he couldn't get any turrets up either. Yeah,
and this Spire is a most certain misplay, because himanoob just morphed like 12 or 10 Banelings, which is kind of a waste of gas at this point, because again, Jack doesn't have a lot of Marines. And really that's what Banelings are there to counter.
Yeah, a very, very gas-heavy play by himanoob. And I think he realizes that as he threw down all his extractors, so he will be needing to mine out of those as soon as he can. Jack, on the other hand, is kind of moving out. He moved up to the watchtower and picked off a Zergling, and now he's kind of pushing forward, and we'll see how he's able to deal with the Banelings. But look at this. You can see that himanoob is going to be kind of going for a Baneling minefield here in the front of his base. He has all his Banelings in front, and then he's got 2 spine crawlers in the back to pick off whatever the Banelings don't. So this is a cool play by himanoob.
You know what, Cadoink? Baneling minefields are very, very exciting because there's... Is it going to do anything? That's the major question. The thing that I really wonder about Baneling minefields is why people don't set up Zerglings on the other side. Like, they just make this kind of circle where the enemy's army walks into, and then they wrap around the back with... Banelings didn't do anything. I think he actually manually exploded 5 of them in the ground because all of them went down at the exact same time.
Oh, I see that. And you are a little bit ahead of me. I am just now hitting 15 minutes right now. So yeah, the Banelings do go down. He is morphing some more in the back. And now I am at 15:10, just to kind of let you know. And Jack is pulling back at this time. I think he doesn't want to engage. He's worried about a lot of Speedlings and Banelings coming in. However, himanoob doesn't have Baneling speed out, I don't believe. No, he does not. So that, you know, Jack doesn't have too much to worry about if he gets those tanks sieged up. But I like this. He's pulling back to the watchtower to get a little bit of extra vision, and he's also keeping himself off that creep and kind of keeping him in a corner. So if the Zerglings do run up, they won't be able to get a really good surround. However, he won't be able to split his Marines up very easily if the Banelings come.
Yeah, I think what Jack should really be doing right now is focusing on his macro and getting another expansion up. I see in the back of his base there's 3 supply depots with supply drops on top of them, which is something that's kind of favored in the lower leagues, and then as people realize that it's not quite as effective as muling, they kind of fall out of it and they get really good at dropping those supply depots. But yeah, this is... I don't know how I feel about this. And himanoob asking why Jack is retreating.
It's kind of an interesting question. It's almost as if himanoob is just trying to learn from this game as he's playing it. So we'll see how Jack responds to that. And yeah, with the supply depot thing, that is something that you see a lot of the lower leagues do. I would like to see Jack start muling a lot harder. But it's kind of one of those like, oh shoot, I didn't have a supply depot. I need one right now. And so he casts him down. And Jack's saying he needs a better plan. I like this by Jack. Not really quite sure. Even though he is ahead, still kind of playing safe. So this is very cool by Jack. Unless he's trying to, like, psych himanoob out and make him think that he has less than he actually does.
I'm pretty sure himanoob was actually trying to psych Jack out, because I got this vibe where himanoob was like, retreating? Why? Come at me, bro. Come at me. Come on. Let's go. Like, that's just what I felt from there. And himanoob saying that Hellions aren't a bad choice, which is, of course, true, except for the fact, of course, that he has roaches already. So Hellions not the best choice.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a very good choice at all. However, it will allow Jack to move around the map, so in that sense, it'll be pretty decent, help him work on his control a little bit. You know, when you're in the Silver League, you really want to get a very good mixture of units, but if you end up not getting the perfect mixture, you can still work with what you have and say, even though these Hellions aren't useful in a direct engagement, I might be able to move around the map and pick off some creep tumors, I might be able to keep watchtowers with them. So you should always find a way to use whatever you're building, even if you find out later that what you're building wasn't necessarily the best choice.
Yeah, definitely. And we have Jack moving up with a siege up, and this might be the final siege up of the game. I don't know. This is not looking good for our Zerg player. He just lost all of his roaches, which of course makes Hellions a valid option again.
Yeah, it certainly does, actually, and 6 siege tanks is a lot of siege tanks. Especially because I think he just picked off some of the Banelings. I only see 3 of them left, and a few of them have taken damage. So we'll see what he's doing. He's moving the Hellions up. Might try to swing them forward and try to bait some guys in, but currently just trying to pick off spine crawlers wherever he can. And just now, himanoob is working on 10 roaches and Baneling speed. This is very interesting. I feel like he should have gotten Baneling speed a lot earlier. But also in this situation, I don't know if roaches are going to be that helpful against this large amount of tanks. I think what he's doing with the mutas from behind, trying to come back and pick them off, is a lot more effective. And now the roaches coming in, a lot of damage going down on the roaches. The mutas coming in top. as well, and all the roaches go down as well as all the mutants but one, so this is looking very bad for himanoob.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he really just needed banelings at that point. He should have just waited for baneling speed and then tried to roll up and killed all the marines and then wiped the rest of the army out with the mutalisks. He doesn't have enough of a force anymore to really contend with Jack at this point. I mean, just look at the supplies. It's 152 to 65. That's, 200% more supply for Jack. That's not a good situation to be in as Zerg. We do have 5 more mutalisks out, so he's back up to almost his original muta count. But this is still not good at all.
Yeah, you don't want to be that far behind especially when you're a Zerg player. However, I'd like to see Jack take an expansion. He has an SCV at his 3rd, and even though he's basically got this game won, it's still good habit to focus on continuing to take expansions and protect him. Baneling speed has finished now. Himanoob kind of poking forward and backwards, but the siege tanks are just doing too much damage, and I think Jack realizes he can push forward, unsieging 3 in the back and moving them up to the front. And now he's continuing to push, and yeah, it doesn't look like Himanoob will last much longer.
No, not at all. I would expect the GG basically at any point right now. He might go until he loses the natural, but I don't think he'll go that much farther after that. We have 2 banelings burrowing at the bottom of the ramp. These are very, very scary banelings. Not actually an ideal position.
No, not at all, but it would be really cool to see them just come up and blow up half of Jack's army, because, I don't know, like you said, you do love banelings coming up and ruining everyone's day.
That's because banelings are awesome. I like my green spinny balls of acid.
Oh yeah, they're very good units. I would definitely be saddened if they were removed from StarCraft 2. And a few more are morphing on the high ground. However, Jack doing a scan, very smart by him, and all the banelings go down to the siege tank fire, and now this game is essentially over.
Aww. I think he just picked off the banelings.
Yeah, he did. In fact, you could see, like, you know how you can see the dotted lines underneath the unit? You could tell that Himanoob had them selected, and he was just waiting for the moment when he can unburrow them.
I know. I think he actually tried to unburrow them and run them into the army, which was not the right choice. Because if you unburrow banelings, as soon as they start unburrowing, they can be seen, and the marauders just pick them off really easily.
At that situation, though, you might as well try everything you've got. Although, however, did kind of waste 3 minutes, as he had like a super saturated main and no other bases. So yeah, Jack, congratulations on the win. Very good game. I understand why you sent it now. I really enjoyed it. And so send me some more, please, and everyone else, you can send me games too. I will definitely cast them for you, and you can send those on to cadounkreplays@gmail.com. And if you want to check out more of my videos, you should go to www.youtube.com/user/CadoinkStudios, or search CadoinkStudios into YouTube, or even Google. I should pop up, hopefully. And yeah, Boisterous, where can they check you out?
They can check me out over at www.youtube.com/user/BoisterousSC2. They can probably also YouTube search that or email it.
Yeah. And also, Boisterous and I are going to be casting a tournament, and we need some bronze to gold players to sign up for it, for the Cup League. However, if you're a Platinum League player, you can sign up for it as well. There's a league for you, Platinum and above, I mean. So yeah, do you want to give the details on that tournament?
Sure. It's a tournament hosted over at sc2clans.org. It's kind of a newer website. It's been growing since it got made like 18 days ago, I think. And basically, it's the SC2 Clan League, or sc2clans.org Team League. And there's 3 different divisions. There's a Premier League, a Championship League, and a Cup League, and we will be commentating the Cup League, which is, of course, bronze to gold. And the Cup League is for teams of 5, and it's basically going to be like an 8-week series of just 1 game per team per week, and it's going to be interesting. You should definitely go sign up for it and register over at sc2clans.org and make an account and go find a clan and go be happy.
Definitely being happy is the most important thing of all, and that's why we play StarCraft 2, because we love it. So anyway, check out more videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, please. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what we can improve upon, and we will certainly do that for you guys. So yeah, this was Cadoink and Boisterous, and we will see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.